Welcome back to the channel. This is episode 14 of the Scania 143 restoration. I'll give you a little walk around of where we're up to and what's next for this project. It's been a little bit slow. We've not done much really over the last few days, possibly the past week. We just left Tom to crack on prepping this cab. As you can see now, that's looking pretty straight. The lines are looking really nice down the doors. He's also prepped this side, got some filler in there. This is almost ready for primer now. Just a little bit of last bits of rubbing to do, and that's going to be ready for primer. You see, we've rebuilt all the front end. However, we have come across a bit of an issue. One thing we didn't notice until we'd fitted the intercooler is that it must have been rubbing on the grill at some point. So we've actually got quite a big hole there, one of the vanes for the intercooler, and a couple of little holes down here. So we need to source a new intercooler for this. If any of you guys know of anyone who's breaking a 143, we are in desperate need of one of them now. Don't fancy paying the Scania tax on them because they're about 1,250 quid. So ideally a good used one. So if anyone knows of any breakers, please put that down in the comments for us. We're also still in desperate need of a roof liner because we can't find one of them anywhere either. We previously called on Trucker Tim in a previous video to see if he knew of anybody. After a few people had suggested we contact him, nothing came of that. So we're clutching at straws at the minute, guys. If anyone knows of any of these getting broken, please link us in the comments. Back of the cab's all done. Again, nearly ready for primer. What else have we done? I tried to remove the lifting rams off the back end. However, the bottom pins are absolutely seized solid on this. So I managed to get that top pin out. That came out not too bad. That's located in there. These bottom pins in here are seized absolutely solid. Now we do have a guy coming in tomorrow, Hunters Plant Wells from Bolton. They're going to try and pull these out for us with their puller sort of press tool that they've got. If he can't get these out with the puller, we're going to have no option. We're going to have to wash these out with a thermal lance. We know there is various ways of removing these. We could chop the bottom of the ram off, we could split it there, we could run a cutter, grinder down through the pins, but we're trying not to damage these bosses either side, because then that would mean if we run the grinder down there and we damage these, we'd then have to start packing this out. Otherwise we're going to have sideways movement in that ram. So obviously we don't want to do that. There is various other ways that we are aware of. Obviously the situation we're in is we don't want to waste hours and hours and hours fighting with these pins or cutting them and messing around. That is hours we could be spending doing other stuff on this project, because there is still mountains of work to do. So we'll leave that to professionals, or either pay someone to come and do that rather than wasting hours of our valuable time. Take a look around here. This one is the same. That one's seized solid as well. You can see someone has previously had a go at this and they've actually mushroomed the end over. So this pin is now actually going to have to be drawn out this way. There's no chance that's going to knock back through. The other side, we're going to be removing a lot of this old wiring and cabling. These were the old Anderson points for the jump points in the back of the lockers. So we're going to be pulling all this out for now, just to get it out of the way, and then we're going to be running all new copper cables up here into new Anderson plugs. We just want to get these out of the way. Obviously we've had issues with the wiring, almost setting on fire a few episodes ago now. That is going to be one of the things we're going to try and deal with tonight on this episode. Is we're going to start to have a look into that wiring behind the dashboard, see if we can get to the bottom of that and see what's caused it. So we're going to remove any unwanted cables out of the way, so next time we put the batteries on, we know there's nothing that's powered up that's not connected, so we don't have to worry about anything sort of backwards causing any issues. This is currently what we've got to deal with. As you can see in there, this has all been masked out while Tom's been prepping the cab, and there's mountains and mountains of dust in there. Not nice at all. So we've got to get all this out. Probably going to look like a pair of Caspers by the time we finish this, but it's got to come out because we need to access that dashboard and obviously Tom's going to start to prime soon, so we don't want all this dust knocking about and getting in the paint. So we're going to pull this sheeting out, we're going to have a good hoover up, a good wipe down, get rid of all this nasty dust, and then we're going to start to access this dashboard, start to dig through this wiring loom and see where we get to with that, and hopefully we can get that resolved this evening. That is the plan. Whether it will work out or not, we'll soon find out. As we was ripping the interior out, there was actually a pull-out drawer under the seat in which we found this, which is the original Lanterns build plate for the truck. So a nice bit of history there. We are going to try and clean this up and keep it with the truck. We might even try and place it in the truck somewhere, but it's just a nice thing to have, just to show the details and from when the truck was originally built in 1996. So that's going to be a keeper for us. Try and clean that up. So I'm going to crack on. I'm going to get this nasty dusty stuff out of there and get digging into this wiring loom. See you all in a bit. Right, so we've got all the polymask out. Had a quick hoover up and blown some of the dust out. There's no point getting this mint at this point because obviously we are still ongoing with the prep, so we're just making it more workable for ourselves so we're not getting absolutely covered in dust and breathing a load of crap in while we start to have a look what's going on behind this dash. So for those of you who've been following this build from the beginning, you will have seen on episode 6 we had a bit of a wiring disaster. We connected the batteries up, come to start the truck, and next thing we had bellows and bellows of smoke coming out from behind this dash. So if you are new to the channel, if you want to go back to episode 6, you can see that there. For those of you who have already seen it, you've probably already seen this next stage, but some of you guys have all just joined the page or the channel, so we're going to show you what goes on behind here. So basically what's happened is, well, we don't know what the cause of this is yet, but if you can see there, I'll get the shadow out of the way, all the earth wires have absolutely melted to smithereens. We don't exactly know why. There's a massive bunch of earth there. Now, the worst part of this is, obviously these wiring looms are all intertwined, so although it is only the earth wires that have sort of lit up and melted, they are intertwined and wrapped around a load of other wires. So we're going to have some damage here, quite a lot of damage in this loom to other parts of the wiring. You can see there we've got, try to be phone in there for you guys, we've got a bare wire there where the casing, the coatings melted completely away. We've got a bunch down there that's melted, some more down there, and this seems to continue along, goes all the way down behind this section of the dash, makes its way across here. It doesn't look too bad from what we can see in the centre section, but we are going to have to strip this out wire for wire and just make sure that we catch all of this while we're at this stage, because the last thing we want obviously is to find any more issues when the truck is all nicely painted and ready to go. So we're going to go through this with a fine tooth comb. It is going to be a needle in an haystack situation, but it's got to be done unfortunately. Now it travels all the way across here. There is some melted wiring down in that section, and it travels up and actually goes to this fitting there. That looks like the source of where it started from. Now if we go to the other side of that, that is the relay, which is for the ignition lock. So on these 143s, when you've got the batteries disconnected or the batteries are flat, you can't actually take the key out. It stops you from removing the key for whatever reason, not entirely sure. Well, that's what that relay does, something to do with the ignition lock. So again, we're not entirely sure why it's done this, but we're going to start to dig through this now, peel it all apart. It is a bit of a rat's nest. There's all sorts of stuff going on behind here, stuff that doesn't need to be in there. So we're going to be removing anything that isn't needed as well. Right guys, so after a few hours of stripping, it doesn't actually look as bad as we first thought. it appears that there's actually only 2 wires that have shorted or flared up, and obviously because the loom's so intertwined, it's just the coating of the 2 wires that have burnt out that have actually stuck to all the other wiring. It's not actually burnt its way through, so we are going to replace the majority of it anyway. Just for example, you can see this wire, that's just the coating of the other wire that's stuck to that. It's not actually burnt through to the copper inside, so it doesn't actually look as bad as we thought it was going to be. Again, it all stems back from this plug, which goes onto those pins there, and on the back side of those pins is relay N. Can you get a better focus on that? Relay N. So if you look at relay N on the board there, which is that one, and it is starter key locking device. So obviously we've traced the wiring all the way back to the other side of the dash, we stripped it all out all the way across there, individual wires, wire for wire.
So that fine thing
Over to this. I'll try and climb over. Which is the locking device on the ignition barrel to prevent you from removing the key. Now, if you smell that, it absolutely stinks of burnage inside there. So there's definitely something gone on inside of this. And again, the 2 wires what are burnt out are the 2 wires that go to this starter key switch, removal prevention switch, or whatever the friggin' hell it is. Don't really know, still not really any of the wires or what's caused that to short out. So we've got a green wire that goes to one pin and a black wire that goes to the other pin. So the black wire is this one on this ring of earths, which is completely gone. That one. And then the other one was a green one that ran all the way down along there. So I'll wrap around all this loom all the way down onto there. So what we're going to do is we're going to completely remove this starter key locking device, get rid of that, throw it in the bin, remove all the wiring to that so we don't have to worry about it shorting out again, and just repair the bits of loom that run through the dash that have just been damaged by that short. That will cure our problem. So we have removed quite a bit of unneeded, unnecessary stuff. So a load of old wiring and whatnot, which I'll show you now from the climb out of this cab. So we've removed all this stuff. There's an old dropper there that we don't need. We'll be putting a new one of them in anyway. There's an old tracker, loads of old bits of camera wiring. There's just dodgy joins and stuff all over this. Stuff's just been twisted together. I mean, some of these wires was actually just pushed inside the pins for some relays that weren't even connected properly. So all that's come out. Sitting around here. We've had to remove all the steering column. Everything's come out of there. Vents, the trunking for the blowers. The ignition barrel seems alright. That's where the locking device went into there. We've had to knock a roll pin out through there, through that little hole to get that out. So we're going to do away with that. And then again, there's loads of dodgy wiring going on here. Stuff's just been twisted together, bits of solder. I mean, this is just a mess, so we're going to have to redo all this. You can see up there where all the wiring burnt. We've actually pulled the loom up and out so we can access it better. So this loom actually ran down here and went to this ignition barrel key locking device thingy, and it was situated sort of in this position. So it's almost burnt through an air pipe there, so we're going to have to repair that. And then just individual wires, you can see bits and bobs like this. Again, these are not actually burnt through, it's just the casing off the green wire that's melted to the outer casing of some of the other wires. But we're going to repair all this anyway because it doesn't look very good, so we're going to be chopping all this out and soldering some new pieces of wiring in. But good news is, as we say, it's nowhere near as bad as we thought it were going to be. So that's a bit of a relief. So that's probably going to be it for tonight. It's getting on again now. It's near 12 o'clock, near midnight. So we're going to end tonight here, and then we'll carry on tomorrow and hopefully get a lot of this wiring repaired, replaced, and then, fingers crossed, put a set of batteries on it and we'll power it up and see what we get. Hopefully it'll start. So that's going to be it for tonight, guys. I'll continue this on tomorrow. I'll see you then. Alright, so here we are back again, doing a bit of wiring. Just getting rid of some of these singe bits, making these safe. We're just cutting out the bits that have melted, putting some solder joins in, and obviously using some heat shrink to cover over our repairs. Make this all nice and tidy as we can, so at least we know it's safe and good when we get all this dashboard back together. So there's going to be quite a lot of this going on, quite a lot of these repairs to make. So we're going to crack on with that now. Right guys, so there's the cab now in primer, looking really straight. Tom's got all these lines really nice. Made sure the door gaps are right, and made sure when the door's shut that all these lines match up how they should be. He's also gone over and primed the roof, all the back of the cab. Again, all looking really sharp and straight. Take you for a little look around this side. Done all the window frame, that's all come out really well. Same again round here. All the lines are looking nice and straight. So the doors are not shut yet. We've done all inside the doors, all around the door frame as well. Probably going to take these off and get them zinc plated, to be fair, before we paint it. There's our piece that we patched up. All now looks nice and straight. Can't see where that was repaired. So what Tom will do now, or next, is he'll put a guide coat on this cab, so it'll all have a dusting of black, and then he'll block it all by hand, and then any bits of black that remain after it's been hand flatted are obviously picking out slight low spots, so it'll pick out any imperfections, any pinpricks or anything like that in any of the filler, and then he'll just give it a light skim with some stopper. Once he's done that, he'll reprime it, flat it all again, get it nice and smooth, and then get it ready for the final top coat. So the cab is going in white, nice bright white, along with the body. Side lockers are all going in white as well. Again, we've still got to paint this underlift and all the lifting gear. That's not been done yet because we're still waiting for the guys to come and knock these pins out, which is happening Tuesday, I believe. All going well. We're still on the hunt for some parts. If anyone's got any leads for us, we have tried contacting the previous people who some of you guys put down in the comments. Like I've already said, we've tried to contact Trucker Tim, as a couple of you guys mentioned he might have or know somebody who's breaking a 143. We've emailed Nipper and a couple of others, but we're still at a loss at the moment. So we're still in desperate need of a roof lining for this. We need some bits of dash trim, and we also need the plastic trims that run up the inside of these A-posts as well, because they're all brittle and cracked. And we also need an intercooler, again, as I've already mentioned, because we didn't realise until after we fitted it, stupidly, that this one has actually got a nice big hole in it across this bottom vane, and then a couple more holes there. So obviously that's no good. We're going to lose all the boost pressure out of that and lose a load of power. So yeah, intercooler, dash panels, A-post trims and a roof lining. If any of you guys have got any leads, please put that down in the comments. Next thing we're probably going to do on this is carry on with the wiring. Obviously we can't do that at the moment because it's all messed up, we can't get in it. So things are sort of slowing down a little bit at the moment while we're waiting for the cab to be painted. Hopefully this should be in colour by next week. Today's Saturday, we're hoping sort of mid to end of next week this cab should be in white, and then Tom can jump on the lockers which are over there, and we can get back in this cab, finish the wiring off. In the meantime, we've been having a little play with the old Volvo, give it a good clean up, good valet. We've been through all the lockers and sort of spent a little bit of time on this today. This is currently the working truck, what we're using. In the meantime, so we've put some strobes and stuff in the front of this as well. So just sort of using our time where we can at the minute, because there's not an awful lot we can do on the Scania. So this has come up really nice and clean today. We've also valeted all the interior and sorted out a few little jobs that we've been wanting to do on it. So that's all good. So that's going to be it for this one, guys. Again, not really much of an update. I'm just trying to keep you guys updated as much as I can. But obviously we're struggling now because there's not a lot happening while paint's going on. So that's going to be it for this one. If you liked this video, give us a thumbs up, drop us some comments. I'll see you all on the next one.